Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited you're here today because we are talking about my most favorite subject ever, which is eyebrows. I am a big fan of eyebrows. I think they are the most important part of your face. They frame your face. They do so much more than people give them credit for. And today I'm going to show you how to pencil in your eyebrows. To give you a little bit of history on my eyebrows, they have been microbladed. It's been over a year and a half since I had them done. They are absolutely fading. There's still like a little bit of, darkness in there that wasn't there before, but I really prefer a nice bold brow, so my eyebrows are severely faded in my opinion. So I've been actually reaching for my eyebrow stuff more often because they just aren't as dark as I want them to be. So as soon as I can, I'm gonna get them re-microbladed, but until then, I've been penciling them in almost every time I put on my makeup, and especially for all of my work Zoom calls and Hangouts. So it's an everyday thing here now, and I'm gonna show you how to do it too. So the first thing to know is there's a little bit of geometry about the eyebrows. I like to take a brush just to see where everything belongs. And the way you can do this is you can take it, and if you lean it up against your nose, you can see that this is where your eyebrow should start. And then if you take it again and lean it up the side of your nose and the edge of your brow bone, you can see that this is where your eyebrow should end. Now, don't be alarmed. Most of us don't have the full tails naturally. It's okay. And then you want to measure where your arch should go. And your arch should go right on the outside of your iris. The iris is like the colored part of your eye. So the iris should line up with where the tip of your arch is. And that's all the geometry you need to know. There's a couple things you can use to pencil in your eyebrows. You can use a pencil. I have a couple different ones here. My favorites are by Anastasia. They make a smaller one called the Brow Wiz, which is like this little tiny one. And they make a larger one called the Brow Definer, which is this one. And both of them come with little spoolies on the end, which is really nice. The other ones you can try are, this is by Benefit. It's called Precisely My Brow. I think I got this in a subscription box, so it's too light of a shade for my eyebrows. But it came in really handy when I did my tiny face. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link up here. But it was what I used mostly to draw the tiny face on my nose. So Benefit makes one as well. And then I did try this Tarte Sketch and Set. It's got a pencil on one side, and then it has like a mascara wand on the other that you can use. So those are some of my favorite pencils. The other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to use a tiny angled brush and our cream to powder eyeshadow in my favorite color is rustic brown. That one's the one that matches my eyeshadow, my eyebrow shade the best. So I'm going to use this today. What I do is I use this tiny little brush. This is an Anastasia brush, and it's got a spoolie on the end, which is really nice. Because the first thing you should do is you should just brush up your eyebrows, just to see like where the shape is, what you're working with. Now, the biggest thing to remember is to just go slow. To not be too close to your mirror. You want to be able to see the full picture. Brows should not be identical because your face is not symmetrical. At least probably 99% of us don't have a symmetrical face. So your eyebrows will not be exactly the same. The joke is that they should be sisters and not twins. And you'll want to just kind of take a look back, and you want to look between both of them as you're going, just to make sure that you have them as even as possible. All right, so I'm going to take my Shadow Sense, and I'm going to put a little bit on this. This is like a tiny little angled brush. And the idea is to make small little hair-like strokes to make them look as natural as possible. Just get a little bit of product, and then I like to start in the middle. I don't know why, but I always start in the middle, and I just do tiny little hair-like strokes to start to fill them in. Now, this particular brow has a little bald spot right where I was putting the product. It still has a little bit of the microblading shading in there, kind of keeping it not looking super bald. But I know that that's a spot that I have, less hair. And then you can see over here, I have a spot as well. So those are places I like to fill in, as well as just giving them an overall touch up. So the idea is just to do little tiny, small hair-like strokes just to fill them in. If you have lighter brows, you might put less product on than I do. I like bold brows, so I tend to use this darker shade that matches my natural hair color the best. And I might go a little bit heavier than what you prefer. Just pick the shade that's, you know, most comfortable for you, but just find where it starts using the brush trick, or you could use a pencil. And then I put my brush flat, like sideways like this, and I brush in a little bit to get that defined edge. Right now I kind of need that because I haven't been able to get my eyebrows threaded, which is what I normally would do, just kind of clean up the edges and keep the shape nice. So I feel like the edges are looking a little furrier than normal. So I want to make sure that I'm getting as even and precise as an edge as possible so that I can kind of keep that furry look to a minimum. If you do have to pluck your eyebrows, I like to tweezers and just do one hair at a time. Like look, brush them up, see where you need to, you know, where there's an errant hair. You know, if there's some like way down here, you know, go crazy. But once you get closer to the brow, one at a time. Otherwise you can end up with like no eyebrows really fast. And there's another video that I can put up here to show you what it looks like when you have eyebrows from the 2000s, which are those little worms. And we don't want that. So one at a time, away from the mirror, is the best way to do any plucking. All right, so keeping going, I just got a little bit more product on, and I'm just, little hair-like strokes is just the way to go to make it as natural as possible. You can stop and brush the hair back up to make sure that you got all of the spots. I think I have like one right here that I can't seem to get. And I think that's pretty good. If I want to go in with the pencil as well, if you're more of a pencil person and not a brush person, you can take the pencil and again, just use it to draw in little small strokes, keeping in mind where it should start, where it should finish, and then where your natural arch should be. So that's one eye. I don't know about you, but this eyebrow looks way better to me than this one. And this one looks a little sad. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eyebrow, and then we'll see what they look like when they're all done. So I think my brows are pretty much done. If you did make a mistake, you can always take a Q-tip and kind of just run it along the edge just to clean up any mistakes you might have made. And then when you're totally finished, if you want, you can take a nice like clear mascara. This one's a Maybelline Great Lash. And you can use it just to set your eyebrows. So I like to just brush mine up a little bit just to give them that polished, finished look. And there are my eyebrows. Eyebrows are really not that hard to do. You just need to go slow. You know, make sure that you're doing tiny little hair-like strokes, using a color that you're comfortable with, whether you want it to match your hair and be dark, or if you have lighter brows, you might need to pick a lighter color. And just go slow and keep the tweezers to a minimum. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, give me a thumbs up below. And please don't forget to subscribe so you're notified of all my new videos. Thanks for watching.